as promised, got out to the range today. I mean, yes, guys can shoot pink rose guns too, but we did a tabletop on the Romeo X Compact. I had one on my macro, which perfectly 1/3 co-witnesses because the rear sight and the sight of the optic are mostly lined up. So if you shoot dead accurate with the dots, you also do with the irons. So I was kind of concerned on the Rose 380. My wife went out to the range, as I said in the tabletop, and she was nasty with the staccato, the Shadow 2, even my X Macro Tac Ops with this same optic on it. She done really well, so she requested one of her own. And so I was a little bit concerned about getting a co-witnessing option without having to change these already nice steel night sights. And so I mentioned that the optic, or the sight that's in the back of the optic, was a little bit elevated over the standard irons here, and I was wondering how that was going to play for co-witnessing purposes. And just as I thought, trying to shoot the gun, we had some shorts up. We did at an indoor range yesterday, and trying to shoot this gun with just using the rear sight in the optic with no dot and the front sight, you will find yourself shooting about 3 inches high on the target. So I guess would have to say that no, it's not really suited for co-witnessing unless you train with it and you realize that you're going to have to aim about 3 inches lower at 8 yards than where you actually want to hit. It's not really a true co-witness. That rear sight in this optic does not work with this front sight as a precision shot. Yes, you can mostly hit somewhere within a 3-inch area from where you're aiming high, that is, but she was struggling because of that with the red dot. And typically when we zero a red dot and we have co-witnessing sights, you can just about guarantee that if you line the rear up with the front on the standard irons, that dot is going to be sitting dead in front of that front blade, down a little bit towards the barrel. This always ends up that way, not sometimes but every time. But on this one, I think it was throwing her off versus shooting the other ones because that red dot was sitting so far up in front of the front sight, you know, about yay far. So it was really messing her up. We got out to the range today. She wasn't convinced that it was zeroed, and because of how she was shooting, I wasn't convinced of that either. So we come out to the range, calmed down a little bit, focused a little bit, and was able to get this thing zeroed up. And now I think she's in love with it. So that nobody says anything to me about shooting a rose pink gun, I'm gonna let her shoot it and show you what she's been able to do here. We're just gonna trade off the camera. We won't make it awkward or nothing. I'll just take the camera from you. And we'll see what you can do. So, you want to shoot the other one? She don't like talking. She's camera shy. I'd say that's not bad. I mean, we're standing at 8 yards. Not too shabby. You happy with that?
Yeah.
You are? Yeah, I see that big old smile on your face. Well, let me wrap this thing up. You want to hold it? She didn't understand the assignment. That's Man, that's impressive. That's the best one you've done yet. We've been out here kind of shooting like, that's a tiny area. That's a 8-inch plate, and the center that we spray painted white is, I know people say you can't zero on steel, but we did, and it worked out great. That white circle in the center is less than half of that 8-inch target, so it's probably 2.5, 3 inch in diameter. And this is what, 10 rounds each, 20 rounds. You put all in that spot. Really, you were standing back here. We marked with the rangefinder 8 yards right there. You were standing right along in here. So probably more 8.5, 9 yards. I'd be happy with that. You know, her concern was, well, what about if I lose, you know, my dot? Well, again, the good thing is it has 20,000 hour of battery life. It does have the MOTAC, or motion activated shake awake feature, so it will go out when you set it down. 20,000 hours of battery life. Change the battery whenever your birthday, first of the year, whenever you decide to do that. Just know that if you put this on your standard non-X 365, that you will not get a true co-witness. But I also can guarantee you that if you practice using that rear sight on the optic here, it only shoots at 7 yards about that much lower, or higher should I say, than where you're actually aiming. So if you can get used to that and just pointing a little lower where you want to hit, it'll be perfectly fine. And like I was trying to explain to her, most defensive situations are going to be right here, you know, really up close. You may not even get the opportunity to look through your red dot. So I'm happy with it. I know she's happy with it. I've been married to her for 27 years. So if she's truly happy with something, I can tell. And so there's everything to be proud of with that grouping right there. That's way more than impressive. Not a single one of them came out of that 2.5, 3 inch circle. So anyway, that's an update on the Romeo X and a little bit on the Rose as well. Hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure you subscribe, hit that thumbs up, tell all your friends and family where they can find the best blue collar reviews on YouTube. Thanks again, and be blessed.